Hi and welcome to Deep Learning Crash Course. I'm Olli from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm excited to have you with us today. I work as a software developer and recently I've been doing quite a bit of machine learning. So I really think that machine learning is a great addition to the skills of any software developer. I studied computer science and artificial intelligence in the 90s, and neural networks did exist at that time. However, because of limited computing resources, they were restricted in their architecture and thus not deep. More recently, graphic cards like the ones used for gaming have become so powerful that they now allow for much more interesting architectures, even on standard machines like mine.
Olli is very proud to have a GTX 1060 in his laptop, but you can also use a GPU provided by Google using the Colab service.
This course is for software developers and this is taught from the perspective of a developer looking at machine learning. That's me. Ideally, you have a Python background, but knowledge of any other programming language is fine as well. We will be very practical. I will show you just enough theoretical concepts to enable you to build your own machine learning models. A very basic high school understanding of mathematics is totally sufficient to follow this course. I have not met any developer who would lack the math skills this course requires.
For this course, we will use the famous Tensorflow library. And Tensorflow is an open source machine learning framework for everyone. That's how it is advertised. We're using the version 1.10, which is the current version as we are producing this here. And eventually we will also use Tensorflow.js to bring all this into production. Since we are developers, we're clicking on the Develop tab, and we're interested in guides. And as you can see, there are low-level APIs and there are high-level APIs. You'll first have a look at the low-level APIs. And the idea of the low-level APIs is to create a computational graph. And this computational graph consists of a series of TensorFlow operations. And once you've defined this computational graph, you pass it over to the TensorFlow core, and then it gets executed. And as I said, this is a low-level API. That means you're dealing on the level of tensors, which is a posh term for an array, or you're dealing on the level of constructs like these, which express a constant. But what we really want, we want something that is a little bit more abstract. And this brings us to the high-level APIs. And Keras is one of the most prominent high-level APIs of TensorFlow. There are others, but Keras is probably the most popular one. And the good thing about Keras, when we look at how we build a machine learning model, is that it gives us a high level of abstraction. So instead of defining individual matrix multiplications, what we do is we simply create a layer of neurons. This would define a fully connected layer of neurons, and you have 64 neurons, and then you add these layers together, and you will learn what all this means. But the important thing here is this is the right level of abstraction. For this course, we will use something called notebooks, and I recommend you to use the free Colab notebook service offered by Google. It requires no local installation and even offers a powerful GPU that you can choose here under runtime. And this GPU speeds up the computation of your neural networks, and it's actually a K80 GPU, which is quite famous, so it's pretty powerful. So all you need is a Chrome browser and a Google account. As I said, no local installation. And this notebook now is composed of some cells, and some contain text like this one. And some of the cells contain code, like this one here. And code is something you can execute. So once you enter that cell, you see this run button, and clicking the run button executes just this section of the notebook. And down here, you get the result of the execution. and this result is also cached in the notebook. That means if you open the notebook without running it, you will also see it. To get a good idea of machine learning, you need to understand a few concepts. And to make this a little bit more entertaining, we use the Tensorflow Playground. And what you can learn is what a neuron does. This one is a neuron. How you combine them into a network. You see a complete network here. How you solve a classification problem. And you can also make sure that your model generalizes well to unknown data. This is all possible inside this TensorFlow Playground. It's a lot of fun. At the end of this course, we'll bring our trained model into production. And one way of doing this is to deploy it as a browser-based application. This application will be powered by TensorFlow.js, which is the browser-based version of TensorFlow. And at the end of the course, you will have this application. And you can type in some fields and make some predictions. And this seems to be of low risk, whatever that means. And this thing here might be medium risk. So at the end, you will have a fully functional deployed machine learning model. Now that you know a little bit more about me, the tools, and the course, let's get started.